Hi, this is Josh from Shamma Sandals, and today we're going to take a look at the mailbag. The first question comes from Dave. Dave says, I have had 2 pairs of Jerusalem Cruisers but don't currently see them on your website. Have you discontinued them? Well, Dave, you're in luck. We have not discontinued the Jerusalem Cruisers. We've simply changed the name. So a couple years ago, we changed the name from Jerusalem Cruisers to Chargers. And the reason we did that is because a lot of people, I think, looked at the Cruisers as a model that you were supposed to go slower in, or were like less performance oriented. And we're very much focused on a sandal. All our sandals, we believe, you should be able to run and hike and just do whatever you want to in them. It's really kind of your choice of ground feel and soling material and stuff like that. So we changed the name to Chargers. I was reading a book, actually it was a C.S. Lewis book to my kids, and there was this horse, and he was an old charger, and I had never thought of it. I always thought of a charger as something like electricity, but a charger was like this war horse that would ride into battle. And so I'm like, that's a cool name, and so we went with Chargers, so you feel like you're ready to run into battle. Dave, I hope that answers your question, and I hope you get yourself some Chargers. The next question comes from John. John's been having trouble with his sandals because they've been getting very slippery. He had an issue with them smelling bad, so he tried to clean them with a disinfectant and paper towels, and then he applied a mink oil finish. Now, and since he's done that, they've become even slipperier. So this is what I wanted to say about the leather. These are just my thoughts, a couple thoughts. I've never used mink oil to clean or condition the leather. I think that the leather actually works good with a small amount of foot sweat. Here's a little bit of a gross idea here, but a few years ago, I have some Vibram 5 fingers, and those things are there's always an issue with cleaning them. They are kind of a nightmare to clean. It's like if you only had 1 pair of socks, and even if you clean them once a week, you'd still be wearing your socks for a full week. It's kind of gross. So I have sandals now. But that being said, one of the things I read online, and I thought this was really good, was that they go, it's not the 5 fingers that stink, it's your feet. So your feet are creating and have the bacteria, and you're taking that bacteria and all the smells and all that, and you're kind of pollinating your shoes or your sandals or whatever it is you're doing. So one really good idea is every time, if you are somebody that has really sweaty feet, and maybe you have some sort of foot fungus or whatever, wash your feet every time before you put the sandals on. That could help quite a bit. But I'm not a doctor, so I would just say that. The next thing I would say is, so rather than mink oil, what we use here, we have 2 products we recommend. They're both from Lexol. We have a cleaner. These are both lanolin based cleaners, and the cool thing about when you put these on is the sandal will get tackier. You mentioned mink oil, and I imagine that could probably make things a little slipperier. I've noticed that at least for me, that the Lexol makes it a little tackier. So what we do is we use the cleaner and we use the leather conditioner. What I would do, if your sandals are really funky and really dirty, just wash them. Soap and water, scrub them, just go crazy on them. Get all the dirt and grime and bacteria off. And then make sure you use the leather cleaner. Then update it. So then, like, in a couple days, when they start to get a little bit dirty and not super dirty, hit it with the cleaner and a little bit of conditioner, and just kind of maintain it after that. And I think you'll do a lot better that way than the mink oil. And then the other thing is, if you're going to have to wash them a lot, you want to wash them every day, just try the Ultra Grip. The Ultra Grip is totally designed for that. You can clean it every day, no problem. And especially if you're having a lot of issues with sweat, there's channels built into the Ultra Grip to let the oil and dirt and water, exit out the sides. So maybe that'll work for you. I hope that helps, John. Please give it a try, and then send us a follow-up email. Maybe and let us know how it's working for you. All right, so the next one. This one is from Tan May. Hello, I was interested in some of your sandals, but I had 2 questions about this. What I want them for, mostly for use in the city, but in wet conditions, in rain, sometimes in places with not very efficient drainage. Choosing a sandal, you recommend the Chargers for casual use, but I worry that the lack of tread might make them slippery in the rain on pavement. Is that a correct assumption? Does it depend on the kind of pavement? That's a really good point. There's all kinds of pavement out there. I think like actually nice finished pavement is going to be fine. I think where you'd probably have your biggest issue would be if sometimes it's like called an aggregate pavement, where they pour concrete and then they put a bunch of smooth rocks in the top of it, and so it's like kind of a really smooth finish. That might be a little more of an issue. In general, I think most walking around in the city, even when wet, the Chargers will do fine. I think all the sandals would probably do fine, but I like the soling material of the Vibram Moreflex, which is with the Chargers on pavement, because it has a little tiny bit of give. It's not spongy, but it's just got a little bit of give. So I think it's good for concrete. All right, let's keep going with this question. For the mountain goats, the tread seems like it would be good during the rains, but it seems that the tread would get worn out quicker when used day in and day out on the pavement. Good question. I think really it comes down to what your foot strike is like. We don't make any guarantees on how long each sandal will, the tread or whatever, is going to last, because there is such a huge difference in the way people walk. Some people will like actually grind and twist as they step. We've had some sandals come back to us and there was like literally a hole burned through, like this, it was like a streak burned through the middle of the sandal. Everything else was fine. Clearly this guy was like, like scraping his foot each step. So it's hard to say what people are going to do in them. I think the mountain goats would be fine around town. I think it really comes down to how much protection you want. If you want something where you feel the level of protection that is more like what you're used to with a regular shoe, that's going to be the mountain goat, except it's going to be flat. Your feet can splay. They're lightweight, so they're really great. But if you want that level of protection, mountain goats are going to be awesome. If you really want to go minimalist in the city, I think the Chargers are a great choice, and both of those in Ultra Grip, because it says you're really concerned about wet weather, and Ultra Grip's awesome for wet weather. So anyways, one more question. Shipping. I want to get the international shipping option to Mexico. I believe there are import duties which I might have to pay. Could you tell me how this would work with the shipping? Specifically, would I be contacted by DHL USPS once the order has been placed and informed what I should do for this? Okay, so customs, there's a whole bunch of countries out there. We don't know each country's policies and plans. It's really however that each international country is going to collect their duties. You might call DHL, you might call UPS and ask them locally what they do in that situation, and you'd probably get a good answer from them. So I hope that was helpful, Tan May, and we'll be looking for your order. Please shoot us another email if you have any more questions. Have a good one. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel for more weekly content. And make sure to click the bell so that you'll be notified every time we post something new.